Good morning, everybody, and welcome to Sober School, where you can always find experience, strength, and hope. My name is Drew. I am an alcoholic through and through. We want to welcome you to this platform here today, regardless of what your addiction may be. You are absolutely welcome here. We support your pathway to recovery, and whichever pathway it is that you choose. Well, we are here to help, and we definitely want to make sure that it works for you. If you're watching this through our Recovery Classroom Facebook group page, this is a private group, and we want to welcome you. We also want to encourage you to share your own experience, strength, and hope, and your own words of wisdom. You never know who needs to hear what it is you might have to say, and it could just change someone's life, including your own. Real quick, I am so excited tonight. I'm about to break out in my Phil Collins karaoke voice. Actually, I won't subject you to that. But speaking of tonight, we have the Crosstalk meeting. If you've never been to a Crosstalk meeting, I encourage you, if you're local to the area, get down to this Crosstalk meeting. Last week was probably perhaps the best Crosstalk meeting I think I've witnessed since we've started this series of meetings. And so if you're local to the area, get down to the Crosstalk meeting. I promise you, if you've never been to a Crosstalk meeting, you will not be disappointed. It's unlike any meeting you've probably ever been to. And it's just a lot of fun. It's not AA or NA specific. It's recovery centric. So we don't give a shit what pathway you choose. We're just happy you're there, and we're just happy that you're willing to share your own experience, strength, and hope. So the other thing I'm really excited about is today, my sponsor, whom I've not seen in 2 years, is returning back to the area. And Josh, I want to welcome you back. I can't wait to meet up with you and introduce you to these guys. All of us together, I swear, we're going to light this place on fire for recovery. And so I just want to welcome you back and tell you how much I've missed you. I know we've talked a lot over the last 2 years on the phone, but I just can't wait to catch up with you. Speaking of that, in that same thread, I want to talk about change. Change is probably the only constant, the only thing consistently going to happen. We go through life, everything changes. Our body changes, our minds change. I was thinking about it this morning when I was running. Our body is always trying to achieve what's called homeostasis. So think of it like this: if our blood sugar goes up, our body's trying to work to bring it down by dumping insulin. If our blood sugar goes too low, our body works to bring it up back to an even keel by dumping glucagon. Our bodies are constantly trying to maintain a balance. It doesn't like the change, right? That change. And our minds are the same way. We typically don't like change. We are typically resistant to change. And if I'm being quite frank with you, a lot of times we're afraid of change. And we were kind of talking about it the other night in a meeting, and I got to thinking about it. One of the biggest challenges that we face on a daily basis is the unexpected, the unknown, fear of the unknown, fear of change. We're going along, we've got this balance, we've got this, things are going good, so we've maintained that homeostasis, we've maintained that balance, we found that balance, and when something disrupts that balance, well, then all of a sudden we're like, oh shit. And it's easy to become afraid. It's easy to become anxious as hell. It's easy to become depressed over known change. We just don't like change. The problem is change is the only thing that stays the same. The situation you're in right now, you're probably not going to be in that situation 2 weeks from now, 2 years from now. You're probably going to be in a different situation. Change is the only constant. That can work against us, and that can work for us. And I like to say this, whenever I'm faced with change, I try to view it from the sense of becoming uncomfortable. And what I mean by that, if I go to the gym and I lift a 15-pound dumbbell, my body's used to that. My arm's used to that. You move that up to 20-pound dumbbell, it's going to be a little tougher. My body doesn't like that, So it's going to hurt and swell and, get stronger. But get stronger, that's the key. So when I make my body uncomfortable, that's when I grow. And I've said this 1,000 times. When we make our minds uncomfortable, and change is a great catalyst for that uncomfortable feeling, right? But when we get uncomfortable, when things start changing, we start getting uncomfortable, well, hell, that's when I get most excited, because I know that I'm going to start growing. whatever state, homeostatic state my mind is in and my body's in, I know I'm going to get stronger. I just have to stick it out, and you may be in a situation where, maybe you're getting ready to change a job or change a career, change a place where you live. And I understand how that can be scary, and that can be, intimidating and create anxiety and all sorts, a whole slew of other emotions that can come along with that. I get it. But haven't you already done the hardest part? Haven't you already made that change anyway, to get to the point where you're changing again? And when it comes to addiction and alcoholism, that can be really scary. I remember how afraid I was whenever I knew, okay, tomorrow's going to be my day one. Tomorrow I'm going to get sober, and I'm going to make it the whole day without taking a drink. That day was July the 6th, 2021. I remember that day very well. And I remember that the night of July 5th, I was already starting to get anxious. And all day July 6th, I was terrified. What was going to happen? Was I going to die? Was my heart going to give out? Was I going to have a stroke? Whatever. I mean, I had all these emotions. And even that in and of itself there's science behind that, but it's our bodies trying to compete and combat that. But regardless, I get, if you're still drinking, if you're still drugging, and you want to change, and you're afraid of the change that is going to that you're going to have to undergo, relax, flip it around. I heard this the other night. Flip it around. Think about the fear that you're facing now. Think about the fear of staying exactly where you're at. Think about the fear of not getting sober. Think about the fear of not getting clean. Think about the fear of staying in that same lifestyle that you may be in right now. Well, hell, if that doesn't scare the bejeebies out of you, I don't know what does. I remember July the 5th of 2021, I didn't want to stay where I was at any longer. I was absolutely miserable. I was beyond my breaking point. I'd already broken into a million pieces, and there was no hope for me. But I knew the only thing I could try to do would be to change, to start getting sober, to at least make an effort at getting sober. I want to encourage you today, if you're on the fence, if you've been drinking, been drugging, and you're sick and tired of being sick and tired, if you are apprehensive and I'm not sure I can change, I get it. I get it. Change can be very fearful. Change can be frightening. It can create depression and anxiety and a whole slew of other emotions that go along. I get it. But think about this. Think about all the emotions you're feeling right now while you're still on the fence. Think about all the emotions that are going through your mind, all the shitstorm, the dumpster fire of a life that you may have right now. Do you want to stay there? Because if you want to stay there, it doesn't sound like it's a good place that you might want to stay. I didn't want to stay where I was at. I wanted something. So anything was better than where I was at. Is anything better than where you're at right now? Why not make that change? Why not take that first step and just start meeting up with like-minded individuals? Find a room, find a friend, find somebody who has done the very thing that you are wanting to do, and start fellowshipping with them. Start asking them questions. Start trying to figure out what worked for them so you could try to make it work for you. And with that being said, I'll let you guys go. I hope you guys have an absolutely kick-ass Friday. We've made it through the week. Oh my gosh, it's been a long week for sure. I want to thank you guys for letting me come in and share 5 to 10 minutes of your day with you. You guys watching, tuning in every day. This keeps me sober, and I could not be more appreciative of it, and I know my family appreciates it too. That being said, I'll let you guys go. We'll talk again soon. Remember, guys, you can't get drunk if you don't take that first drink.